Let's go through the code 664, strange printer. There is a strange printer with the following two special properties. The printer can only print a sequence of the same character each time. At each turn, the printer can print new characters starting from and ending at any position that will cover the original existing character. What does that mean is that, for example, for the first time, we can print, for example, C, 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 right? If we have second turn, like for example, A, right? A will cover C, right? A. And the third time, for example, we have Y. So after the three turns, it will become C, Y, A. So it gives us a string S, ask us how many turns, the minimum number of turns we need to use to print S. Take an example, A, B, B, right? So it says that for this kind of scenario, we need 2 turns. We can print A first, then B, right? The first turn, second turn. Actually, the first turn we can print like A, whatever, these kind of things, right? And the second turn, the B, we can cover this B. So for the second question, second example, ABA, it also needed 2 turns. The first turn we print A. The second turn we print a B here. These are the conditions that S is consisted of lower English letters. And also it have length conditions. So what we think about is that for this kind of S, right? We have cha1, cha2, and until cha n minus 1, right? We assume the length is n. So we can use for example, we have an index I to j. For example, I and j. We'll say from ci and to cj, we need for example, x terms, minimal x terms. Then we'll say from ci to cx, at least we need j minus I plus 1 terms, right? Because the worst scenario is that we print this character 1 by 1. So this is the worst case. But it's possible that we can do better. So what does that mean is that we can try to iterate, for example, ck, right? And this k is smaller, greater than I, and smaller than j, right? So if we can find such a ck, and we from ci to ck, the terms, right? tik, and also the ck plus 1 to cj, that is tk plus 1 to j, right? And if we plus this one, is smaller than the original, for example, the ij. Then we can update this kind of Tij. So we can iterate the k from I to j minus 1 to see whether we can separate it to two parts. So we can use an integer array, two-dimensional integer array here. Let's begin to write. So we can use something like this, right? Dp equals mu a, right? So what is the dp I j means is that this is the minimal terms of terms we print as like this si, the range si to sj, and these two characters are included. So we just trying to see we have a j iterated j k, right? K for k, right? K greater equal to I in the case smaller than j. We try and separate this range to two parts. Trying to iterate the divider. Trying to see if we have, for example, if we have dp I k plus dp k plus 1 to j. If this one is smaller than dp I k, then we just update this dpij, right? So and for the initial condition is that for every character we need at least one time to print. So dp I will be 1, right? So in the end, what we need is to find dp 0 a minus 1, right? So this is what we find. Okay. So let's begin to write the code for this. We are convert it to char array equals s to array, and in the a post array of length. And let's put the initial condition set for in I plus there smaller than n I plus plus. Let's say have dp I equals 1, right? At least for every character, we need at least to print 1 times. And for this kind of since that is that we try to iterate the range. So we can have two for loop. The first for loop is possible because here this is for the length. The I to j, the length is 1, right? So what we need is that we need to have for the length equal to from 2, right? And the length smaller equal to n, and the length plus plus. And we'll say for in I equals 0, I plus length smaller equal to n, I plus plus, right? So we'll have inter j equals I plus length minus 1, okay. So we'll say dp I j will be at least j minus I plus 1, right? So the next thing is that we are trying to iterate for input j k equals I, k smaller than j, right? K plus plus. Trying to divide, let's say if we are separate these two parts, that's I to k and k plus 1 to j, right? So let's say just dp I j equals math vector name dp I k plus dp k minus 1 j and dpi here, right? And in the end, what we need is return dp 0 and minus 1. But here, there is a special things we need to take care of. That is, for this char array, hey, if this one equals, if this char, when we divide it from I to j, right? If the k's character is the same as j's character, we can say one time. What does this one mean? Is that for this kind of j, right? But those kind of terms we print j. Actually, we can use the way the term we print because these two characters are the same. So in the left term, when we print k, right? Print this character, we just print this to the end. This kind of just when we print this, we can print this one instead of end at this k. We can print this kind of character and tell to the position j. So we can no matter so we are trying to find a minimum, right? So for this kind of strategy, we can save one time. Let's think about this a little more, right? So for example, we have a character n here when we separate this character, right? And we have a character n here, right? So every time on this left, when we print this kind of character, we can print, for example, cc until to the end instead of separated 2 times, right? So for this run, we can always print it to the end. That means no matter that means for these terms of C and these terms of C, we can save to this kind of printing and to save one terms of print. So this part is the hardest part to explain for this question. But if anyone is difficult to understand this part, we can write some kind of other way to write. That is, for example, if for example, you can write if something like if I equals char j, right? Then dpij equals dpij minus 1. Anyway, we just need to find a way to make the interval smaller. But when doing like this way, when the code will be neat, that is we'll write equal array K equals array G. We'll have let's do this. Let's do this. Let's create a variable called count. In count equals this. And if this character K equals character J, we have count minus man, right? So we'll have BP by J equals math.name count BP by J. Okay. And in the end, we'll return dp0 and -1. ABA, let's change ABA. Okay, so we'll see, we use a two-dimensional array, and actually we are trying to iterate I and J for the interval. This is two for loop, and there is another for loop that is K, right? That is divider. So that is will be O in power 3 times complexity.